what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 6th of February, 2019. And I'm driving on the Massachusetts Turnpike. You have to pay, like many other turnpikes in the United States, you have to pay to drive on it. They charge you money to drive on a road that tax dollars paid for in the first place. The Massachusetts Turnpike was originally a toll road in order to pay for itself, and then it would be shut down. But like every other government entity, it continues to charge you money to drive down the street. So they charge you insurance, they charge you excise tax, they charge you, I don't even know how many gas taxes. You have to pay for gas because they are holding down technology that would allow you to run your vehicle on water. Yes, that's a thing. Several people have discovered how to run a motor vehicle on water, and they get 100 plus miles to the gallon. There are no emissions. There was a guy whose name escapes me, but I'll put a link in the description. He drove across the United States in a dune buggy that he built that ran on water. He was approached by the billionaires that own the gas companies, and they offered him $1 billion back in the 80s, and he said no. Well, guess what happened to him? Died mysteriously, all of his inventions completely disappeared, etc. So they make us drive gasoline-powered cars, unless, of course, you can afford a Tesla or something else like that, which is still incredibly limited. But they suppress the technology. They suppress everything. They want to keep us in a constant state of paying to be alive. We're the only living thing on the planet that pays to live here. God Almighty, Yahuwah, gave us dominion over the earth and all the animals on the earth. The elites have taken away that dominion. When Eve was beguiled by the serpent and bit the apple, right there, she gave Satan power over us, and it's still carrying on to this very day. At any rate, driving down the turnpike, I drive a big vehicle, 7,000 pounds, 37-inch tires. When you hit a bump in this truck, it's an event. You would imagine on a road that you pay about $10 to drive down, that it would be a smooth road. Back in the old days, in the 80s, if things like this were an issue, you could write to the newspaper, or the news or the newspaper would run an article putting pressure on the Turnpike Authority, thereby it would get fixed. Well, the elites run the governments, the elites put their people in place, the elites own the news. So now your recourse is nada, nothing. Maybe some asshole with a laptop will make a video about it, and somehow that'll make a difference. But it usually doesn't. Harvard University. Harvard, my good friends, my neighbors, Harvard University. Not only have they been spraying the sky for years and are now coming out with it. They came out with it in 2017. They started talking about it. We're going to spray the sky. They got a lot of pushback. They got so much pushback that on their website, Dr. David Keith was blogging saying, people are attacking me unjustly, saying that we're already spraying the skies and calling chemtrails geoengineering. They backed off. They didn't stop spraying the sky, but they stopped talking about it. But now, once again, Dr. David Keith and Harvard University are talking about experimenting with blocking the sun to stop global warming in the southwest of the United States. So here it is again. But that's not all Harvard's doing. Do you remember when Google, last week, can you hear my front sway bar? I broke one of the links. You can hear it squeaking. At any rate, Do you remember when everybody put up a video saying, here we go again? Google and YouTube are going to go after quote-unquote conspiracy theorists, idiots talking about things like 9/11. You know, the buildings that fell and defied. People, it blows me away. The government couldn't have been. Listen, if some guy in a cave did this, so be it. But that's not what happened. You know why? You know the one big thing that sticks with me? Those buildings falling defied physics. How do you think Osama bin Laden somehow messed with the nature of the world and defied physics? Because he did. Those buildings fell faster than as if there were no buildings there at all. That's a fact. If you don't know that fact, then you don't know shit. So feel free to comment. Google doesn't want us talking about 9/11, which is, you know, it happened so long ago, we're already on the same path as Kennedy. People don't really think about it very much anymore. It is what it is. There's no evidence to go through like there used to be. It's a cold case. 9/11 happened, changed the entire world. It is what it is. But they also don't want you talking about flat Earth. Now, why would Google care if you talked about flat Earth? Flat Earth is laughable. It's ludicrous. Obviously, we're a rock, a big 7,000-mile diameter rock hanging in the vacuum of nothingness with our own magical gravity that holds the moon, and we're traversing the sun at 66,000 miles an hour and blah, 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 this whole thing. Why would they care if people were talking about flat Earth if it wasn't real? Because of this. Harvard University has once again made the headlines in all the science magazines because a scientist at Harvard has come out, no matter what his colleagues say, and he says there is a UFO with aliens on it hiding amongst us. Harvard University scientists have come out and said there is a UFO hiding amongst us. Well, you don't want you talking about flat Earth? Because if you understand that the Bible wasn't wrong and that the Earth is a large, flat, not moving center of the universe, the moon and sun are close by and they're inside the firmament. I've completely proven that to myself using Nikon P1000, P900, drones, going to the mountaintops, looking up science experiments that show the actual speed of the Earth or lack thereof, which there are. There are. Michelson-Morley. The Earth isn't moving. We're sitting right here. What you see, feel, and experience is exactly what's happening. What NASA keeps telling us and science keeps telling us is all bullshit and theories. A theory is a theory. A fact is a fact. Gravity is a theory. Black holes are a theory. We're now hearing things coming out of science and being written in science books that are theories but being called facts. If you understand that the Earth is flat with a firmament above it and God is using it as a footstool, then Harvard's story about UFOs doesn't work. The last card in the Illuminati card game is the alien invasion. The alien invasion doesn't work unless you believe that outer space is never ending, goes on forever, we're this insignificant blue marble and so forth and so on. I can show you using NASA's own equipment how wrong all their information is. Show you using NASA's own imagery to show you that they lied to you. Harvard telling us that there's a UFO hiding amongst us may possibly explain why our military is training in the United States in really heavily populated areas in the middle of the night with simulated weapons, so forth and so on. That may be the answer. Because once you decide to try to pull off the alien invasion, It's on. It's all or nothing. If you understand that the earth is flat, immovable, that the stars aren't distant suns, they're small, illuminary, angelic beings, the sun and moon are very, very close by, and they aren't what we think they are whatsoever at all. At all. The alien invasion trick won't work on you. And based on what I'm seeing happening in the world right now, they're getting ready to pull this bullshit off. And like I said, fooling the entire world, the entire population, it'll work. They'll fool 9 out of every 10 people. Guess who the 10th person is? You, me, and everybody listening. Guess how they're going to deal with us? Full armor of God. I'm telling you things that are happening in our world right now. Maybe it's not on your mainstream news, but I wouldn't know. I don't watch it. Ever. You shouldn't either. It's all propaganda. And our own government made it legal for them to use propaganda against you. Right there should have been grounds, maybe not for a civil war, but for mass civil disobedience. And most people don't even know that the Smith-Mundt Act was repealed, and our government has been using corporate-owned news media outlets to propagandize me and you. But when you have the full armor of God, when you have the sandals of the full armor of God and you're standing in the Word, when you're wearing the breastplate of truth, when you have the sword of the full armor of God, they can't fool you. When you understand that the earth is the footstool, that God is watching us all, every one of us at all times, then you're truly awake. They only outlaw things that can show the lies they've perpetrated against us for what they are. Flat Earth, 9/11. That's what they don't want you to know about. Meanwhile, seeing the sun on the planet Earth anymore is an incredibly rare thing. Nobody seems to notice. If I were you, I would be prepared. And when I say be prepared, I'm not simply talking about have extra food in your car, and have extra ammunition, and have some silver and gold. Be prepared. Hit your knees. Talk to God. If you don't have a personal relationship with God, start one now. Or don't.
My brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God,